Anyway, all right. So, Rob G, we've been talking about Ace Bailey now. Started really last week. He missed out on some workouts. Then he puts out his hit list. By hit list, I mean, I ain't playing for him. I ain't playing for them. I don't want to go there. His agent, who is more of a manager, family friend, is asking to be paid for interviews. This has just been a really strange last few weeks with a kid who's so good. Again, it wouldn't have been crazy if he was the number one pick if there wasn't the likes of a Cooper Flagg sitting there. He's that talented. Ends up going fit to the Utah Jazz. But now the reports are that he hasn't shown up for the Jazz yet. We've already seen Cooper Flagg. We've already seen some other teams have pictures and video and audio with their new rookie they're all excited about. But Ace Bailey, it's just been an odd occurrence. And you, my friend, already feel a particular way about it.
I really do. And let's just update the story. According to Andy Larson in the first hour, and ESPN is reporting here in the last 30 or 40 minutes or so, that Bailey will report to Utah this weekend on Saturday, be with the team on Sunday. Ideally, press conference will be introduction sometime Sunday afternoon, maybe Monday morning. So we'll see, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he actually, because in all honesty, when Walter Clayton got on that private jet, he should have been on there too.
Yeah.
So, we'll see if he actually does make the trip there this weekend. But having said all that, I'm already convinced that Ace Bailey is going to be a capital B bust. It has nothing to do with his on-court talent, because to your point, just based on talent, he is, if not neck and neck, but like right there with Cooper Flagg. As a high school senior, he was number 2 in his class, right there with Cooper Flagg. The expectation when he was being recruited is, hey, do you want to go to Kentucky? Do you want to go to Kansas? Do you want to go to, pick your favorite blue blood. They all wanted Ace Bailey. And what he did instead was go to Rutgers. No disrespect to Rutgers, but Rutgers is not what I would call a basketball powerhouse. What it tells me is that Ace Bailey is not in the business of trying to win championships. He's not in the business of trying to advance a program or something bigger than himself. What he is looking to do, and this is not any kind of insult, this is not meant to be derogatory, because there are a lot of athletes who are like this. Ace Bailey is about Ace Bailey. I'm sure he would like to win. I'm sure that, as a competitor, you want to end when the buzzer sounds, your team is won. When the season's over, you would like for your team to have won the championship.
Of course.
But priority number 1 for Ace Bailey is to get buckets. Is for Ace Bailey to sell the most jerseys. Is for Ace Bailey to make the most money. So he goes to Rutgers thinking, hey, when I'm there, Dylan Harper's coming. We are going to get so much unimpeded action that we are going to showcase ourselves and get taken high in the draft. Credit to him, it worked out. They both went in the top 5. But Rutgers, playing in the Big Ten last season with 2 top 5 draft picks, they went 15-17. Ace Bailey, because he doesn't like to pass the ball. That's not what he does.
That is not what he does.
Because he's not looking to win games as part of a bigger group, as part of a team. Finished the year averaging 17-7 on 46, 35, 69 splits. And all of the draftniks who do this for a living say he's got all the tools, he's got all the ability. What he has, though, is tunnel vision, and he's going to throw up some wild between 2 defenders type shot because Ace Bailey needs to get a bucket. We have seen countless players in NBA history who were like this. Some of them have been very successful doing it. The problem, though, is you don't get that full-fledged outlook, that mindset, like fully developed, until you've already been in the league 3, 4, 5 years, right? You've already kind of established yourself as a player. Whether your team was good or not, they saw that you could do something. And then eventually you saw it play out in real time. Like, you know what? I don't think James Harden is really about winning. I think James just wants to pound the ball, get his 25 and 12, and play James Harden basketball. If he wins, great. If not, I'm doing what I like to do, which is pound the rock into oblivion and then either score or pass the ball. Ace Bailey's doing this before he even gets to the league.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to have that same kind of runway like somebody before him would have had, where it's like, yeah, he's kind of a black hole, but he's been doing the right thing. He's got his head down. He's grinding. We'll give him a second contract. And then by the time it's the third contract, then you figure out that he's not a team player, right? He's Jordan Poole. He just want to get his. Because Ace Bailey is already getting off on such a bad foot, I think that you're going to see very quickly that Utah and Danny Ainge, you mentioned in the first hour that he's one of the more, hard-ass type executives in the league. They're not going to stand for this kind of stuff. He's not even going to be able to showcase his physical ability because he's going to come in with the attitude like, I don't care about y'all. It's about me. And because of that, I don't see him ever reaching his full potential. He's not going to get the same kind of leeway that he probably should as a high draft pick. And eventually you're going to see maybe not this level of bust, but he's going to be like a Cam Reddish, where Cam Reddish coming into Duke was, I believe, a top 5 prospect. The idea was that he was going to be, if not the best player, one of the best players coming out of that class. And then he kind of just faded away. I think the same is going to happen with Ace Bailey.
I'm going to work backwards. I disagree with that because I think Cam Reddish had a work ethic issue and a heart and desire where you saw the natural talent. He's the guy you watch in a pickup game. You're like, I know y'all saying he the better player, but man, look at this dude's skill set. But then when it comes to everything else it takes to be a pro, and that's the part a lot of kids don't understand. It ain't just you can shoot. It ain't just you can dribble. It isn't just you can pass. It's all the things that come to being a pro. It is your mentality. Can I trust you? Can I trust you to make the team bust? Can I trust you to not have a bad attitude and bring everybody down when we lose? Can I want you to be upset we lost, but also have the right perspective and say, hey, it's 82 games. We're not going to win every game. It's a balance. It is how are you handling criticism? It's how are your nutrition? How are you taking your rehab? You hear the first thing you always hear about guys. What is it? When you hear LeBron talk about it, as soon as the game's over, I go start working on my rehab and making sure I'm doing everything right, getting my rest. It's all of that goes into a pro. And I think sometimes people forget that. They think I'm just nice. I'm just good. I can just sing. I can just rap. I can just act. It's a lot that goes into it because franchisers are saying, if I'm handing you the keys to my franchise, if I'm making you the face of my team, it's everything. It's quarterbacks, right? It's the reason why people want their quarterbacks to be good in front of the podium. They want them to be able to be good in the media and not have a lot of drama because you're the face of this franchise. Now, let's break down a few things you just mentioned here. Now, so I disagree with that part. I do because I think talent-wise, hunger-wise, work ethic in the gym, I don't question that, and I think he'll have the talent. The question will he be a guy who gets what I call pointless points, where he's putting up 18 a game on bad teams for 8 years and we don't even think about him anymore? That, to me, can change if he continues to be professional. I'll explain a couple of things here for you, Rob G. Number one, I think what you're looking at is the problem with not the NIL, but the mindset of the NIL. When I was playing in high school, dude, we were trying to win. Mm-hmm. We wanted to beat our crosstown rivals. We wanted to beat the kids from the other blocks. We wanted to beat that other school. We wanted, coming from the Ann Arbor area, you want to beat Detroit. You want to beat Saginaw. You want to beat Flint. They always say they got the better players. No, we do. Let's make a name for ourselves. And now, because of the ability to control everything, it's become where let me make sure my mixtape is right. Let me make sure I look this way. Let me make sure I'm presented this way, which then turns to let me control everything. And there's a hands-on approach to wanting to dominate and control everything. And I think people are taking the LeVar Ball approach on steroids. You know what I mean? And trying to do it their own way. And I think it's backfiring on some people. So when I look at an Ace Bailey, by all accounts, we're hearing he's a good kid. He works hard. He's in the gym, basketball. He takes it very seriously. But I'm going to give you a quote here that I want you to, and this is for you, everybody listening, to remember, especially younger folks and really all of us. Talent is one thing, but having good counsel is one of the most underrated parts of a person's journey. Shout out to Jamal Crawford, who just put that out there. I'm going to say that again. Talent is one thing, but having good counsel is one of the most underrated parts of a person's journey. I'm going to throw a few names out at you, Rob Parker. You remember Ricky Williams?
Did you just call me Rob Parker?
I mean, Rob G.
That's an insult.
That is.
Yeah. Yes, I remember Ricky Williams.
Ricky Williams is coming out, one of the best running backs, Heisman Trophy. We're like, oh, Ricky Williams is going to be the man in the NFL. And what does he try to do? He tries to get with Master P, who was the hottest businessman as far as the music industry at the time. He's trying to start a athletic agency and all that. He gets with him. He gets bad counsel on his career. And what does he do? He does this whole don't even worry about the rookie scale and all that. Pay me based off how good I'm about to be. And he ends up getting jacked up. His first contract is trash. He moves on from Master P's agency and all that, but it was bad. Sometimes you can have bad counsel. It's not that you're a bad person. It's that you put Uncle Ray Ray in charge. Or you put my dad's guy who spent, a few months in a business school and now he's running this. So I don't think Ace Bailey is a bad kid.
I don't either. No.
I think the collective is trying to control his destiny, and they may be shooting themselves in the foot by trying to do this. So here's my thing as well. He has an opportunity to finally relinquish the grips of trying to control everything. Like you mentioned, I'm going to go to Rutgers and I can do this. I'm going to go to this high school. I'm going to play for this AAU team. He has a chance to finally say, you know what? The goal was to get in the league, and the goal is to dominate, to be the best I can, and let the chips fall where they may. And I think him trying to, I want to go to Washington because I can go there. I can be the guy, and I can lead the team. Well, dude, you can also go to Washington and be Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma. You can also go to Washington and be a guy that just puts up points that we never care about, or some other team. You want to be a part of an organization that has an identity, that's going somewhere, that's building, and be a part of that, a cog in that piece. And to me, that's what I would encourage in this portion of your life. Control what you can. Work out. Be on time. Be a professional. Stay in shape. But you can't control every single move, because sometimes you will make the bad decision trying to override destiny, if you will. Override, sometimes masterful things just happen. You know what I mean? Sometimes things just fall in your lap. I didn't know I was going to go here. I didn't know they were going to bring this other player over here. It worked out. Now we're balling, and we've competed for a couple of championships. You don't know that. You never know how that's going to play out when you're trying to control everything and hold it on lock, and we're only going to do it this way, and there's no other way to doing it. And you got some people who've had some background issues leading you. So I would just advise him to consider the counsel, consider who's around you, because we've seen this before. Michael Vick was one of the most talented players to ever play college football, and he has the wrong people around him, keeps the wrong people from back home around him, and it brings him down for a period of time. And we've seen this happen before, and I just want the kid to be able to maximize his talent and go and ball and let the ball be the ball. You know what I mean? Let that part play out. And it becomes difficult at times when you have the wrong people around you and when your mindset is on the wrong things. You're already coming in, dude, you have no equity. You have no rapport. You haven't built anything. And all you want to do is come in and prove it. I want to do this. You can do that. And I'm going to give you the last example for me. This guy didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't have a 10-2 record in the postseason. But I remember when the Lions were just putrid, 0-16. And Matthew Stafford said, no, I don't want to duck that Detroit. You know what I mean? I understand who they are, but I want to go there and be a part of building this thing and be a part of helping them turn this thing around. And to me, he got there and they went to the postseason a few times. And they had some solid years to good years. And he had some big-time years for himself, and he was a Pro Bowler. And it's like, dude, it can happen in unexpected places if you allow it to and if you do the work. So that would be what I would offer him.
I agree with everything you just said.
Here comes the Nicki Minaj, Cardi B size butt.
The only problem is to do what you're asking him to do requires a certain level of maturity that he has not shown at all. And more importantly, to what you said, the people around him have not shown it. Like a lot has pointed out that Omar Cooper, who's the guy who's his manager, is not his agent. He's just kind of the guy advising him. You mentioned there were some allegations about his past. Just quickly, people don't know. In the 1990s, he was charged with attempted murder and possession with intent to distribute cocaine on or by a school property. In 2003, he was indicted for possessing a machine gun and a black short clip Uzi. That's all reported by NJ.com. The other thing is Omar Cooper's son, Sharif Cooper, which if you like college basketball, you know that Sharif Cooper a couple of years ago was a bucket at Auburn. Do a little background research. Sharif Cooper's story is eerily similar to what Ace Bailey is doing right now. 5-star recruit, could have went anywhere he wanted to in the country, recruited by Kentucky, Coach Calipari, says, you know what, I'm going to go to Auburn, I'm going to stay local because I'm going to get buckets. Ends up going to the NBA, I think after his sophomore season, washed out a year and a half later. I'm not saying he's going to be washed out in a year and a half, but at some point, you know, history kind of repeats itself, and I just don't know if Ace Bailey is going to realize soon enough that he has to distance himself from this situation, that he needs new advisors, because quite frankly, what he's been doing has worked. He got to the NBA. He's the top 5 pick. He's got a guaranteed, $30 million coming his way. So I don't know. I'm not optimistic.
And I have no problem with you not being optimistic because history generally repeats itself if it's not changed. But the only thing I would offer And the hope is that I do think there's enough people that will care about the young man that he doesn't even know care about him. Meaning, this is an extreme example. But like I just mentioned Jamal Crawford. He randomly put this on his Instagram 4 hours ago. I think we know what it was about.
Yep.
Jamal Crawford had a heck of a career by all accounts, and he went to Michigan. So I won't say I knew him, but I saw him around town. Yep. Great guy. We were both there in Ann Arbor at the same time.
Avery Bradley's in Utah. Carlos Boozer's in Utah right now.
He has, I think, enough people, and this is the kind of thing we mentioned. This we were talking about Paige Beckers and kind of and just speaking up and wanting to be a part of people's lives and help people and offer love and hope. This is one of those times I could absolutely see a LeBron shoot a random text. This does not surprise me. If this is a LeBron somehow gets his number. Hey man, just wishing you all the best, but keep some right people around. You see, I keep my crew. We grew together. We learned the business. I got the white guys around me. I absolutely can see this is where quietly LeBron would shoot it. Well, not quietly because it's LeBron. We gonna know. Yeah. But he shoots off a text.
Just got the phone with Lil Bro. He's straight now.
He's straight now. We figured it out. But you get what I mean? Where it's like, hey, man, just offering some advice. And I'm being ridiculously hopeful that type of thing happens.
I hope it does happen. I would love to be wrong about
one other kid that I kind of, just where it was all right there and it kind of fell apart, Imani Bates.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the league. He's with the Cavs. People want to see more, and hopefully he turns this thing around. But a lot of things didn't make sense. And you're like, what? And I believe in Imani's, I'm hoping he rights the ship and has an amazing career. But again, we've seen where this has kind of happened. So